What is going on, everybody? This is your boy B&B, Black Man Voting of the B&B Show. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Um, I'm excited. A lot of things going on. A lot of great movies out right now, as you guys know. I am a big supporter of AMC, big supporter of GME, big supporter of HYMC. To be quite honest with you, those are the things that even brings me here. And those particular things and learning about those things over the last 4 years and the stock market manipulation has brought me closer to politics. I have never been this interested in politics in my life. I've said it before, maybe a little bit. I got a little bit more interested in politics during Barack Obama's run up to being a president and that whole situation. But I've never been this interested in politics like I am now. I mean, it just seems like politics right now is such a point of contention for people, but for me, it is an opportunity to learn, and I am learning as much as I can about what's going on with number 45, 47, 47, 45, 47, Mr. Donald Trump. Welcome back. As you can see, I got my Trump hat on. I'm a big supporter of Donald Trump, voted for Donald Trump, and I wanted to just say I wish him well. I pray for him, and hopefully that he attacks and brings justice to the stock market, brings justice to us retail investors who feel and who suspect there is a lot of illegal naked shorting going on. I was listening to Patrick Byrne today, been listening to him a lot lately. He has a lot of interesting things to say. I never knew so much about him. I only really knew about the overstock situation, and he has a lot to say. So, man, Patrick Byrne, thank you for sharing your story. I'm gonna do a video about that at a later date. But today we are talking about President Trump's new appointee, Pam Bondi, for Attorney General. So as you know, Matt Gaetz was his first pick, but a lot of people feel that that was just Donald Trump playing chess. Okay. From what I've seen of Matt Gaetz, I like him. I like the fact that he's direct. I like the fact that he takes no shit. The guy comes forward, and he's not afraid to expose his colleagues that are nefarious. Well, it seems like there is a conflict of interest, especially when it comes to investing in the stock market and being able to front run and under having insider information. That to me is crazy. Maybe I'll play that video a little bit later on Matt Gaetz, but let's talk about Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi, man, what can I say? I didn't know much about her, but what I'm reading and what I'm seeing about her, man, she looks like she is the right person for the job. She looks like she's excellent at what she does, and it seems like that both sides of the party agree. Matter of fact, it seems like people on the Democratic side are a little nervous. I did notice this, that my favorite show to do reactions to, because they most of the time most of them have an opposing view, is The View. I looked and I haven't seen anything where The View has said anything about Pam Bondi. They have plenty to say about Matt Gaetz, plenty to say. But the interesting thing is ABC made sure that they had to read a statement in regards to Matt Gaetz and in regards to the allegations that were unfounded. So keep in mind, Matt Gaetz was not convicted of anything, but they're going to go ahead and push that narrative. That's because that's what they want to do. They're going to push narratives. So, but let's get over to Pam Bondi. Interesting choice, and to many, an excellent choice. And I seem to think so, man. Maybe Donald Trump was playing chess with Matt Gaetz, man, and this is where he really wanted to go. And that's what a lot of people were saying. It's interesting. A lot of people were saying that before this even happened. They were just saying, they didn't say that Pam Bondi would be the person that he would appoint. What they were saying is Matt Gaetz has just got to be a chess move. So maybe they were right. Let's take a look.
Show just announced the president-elect has selected. Breaking tonight, a lot happening during this show. Just announced the president-elect has selected Pam Bondi as the next Attorney General of the United States. I'll read from this announcement from the president-elect. I'm proud to announce former Attorney General of the great state of Florida, Pam Bondi, as our next Attorney General of the United States. Pam was a prosecutor for nearly 20 years, where she was very tough on violent criminals and made the streets safe for Florida families. Then, as Florida's first female Attorney General, she worked to stop the trafficking of deadly drugs and reduce the tragedy of fentanyl overdoses deaths, which have destroyed many families in our country. She did such an incredible job that I asked her to serve as our Opioid and Drug Abuse Commission. During my first term, we saved many lives. Again, he goes on to say she's smart and tough and is America's first fighter who will do a terrific job as Attorney General. Again, Pam Bondi from Florida, the next nominee for President-elect Trump, who obviously saw today that Matt Gaetz pulled his name from nomination as the votes were not there on Capitol Hill in the Senate for Matt Gaetz as Attorney General. Pam Bondi, now the name that the president-elect has put forward in that position.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey.
Man, Donald Trump, he really believes in her. Donald Trump really believes in her, and she served as one of his attorneys. This lady is going to fight, and she's going to fight, and she's going to fight. You are seeing a pattern here. Donald Trump is putting people in place that are Donald Trump a loyalist. And I totally agree with this move, because if you've been part of any type of corporation where there's been a CEO change at the top, I've been a part of few. The CEO that comes in, right, they normally bring their own people. No different here. You take over a position, and you are about to embark on a situation that most of the time, there's going to be potholes and obstacles. You're going to have problems that you're going to have to correct, right? You want to have people that you can trust that's going to have your back. No different. I've seen CEOs come in, and I would take a look at the people that they brought in. I'll take a look at their LinkedIn. And it's interesting how they have gone from corporation to corporation together. Here, Donald Trump is bringing in people that will not that he feels will not stab him in the back, that would not undermine him, not undermine his authority and his decisions. You and I, if we have gone through the things that Donald Trump has gone through, we would do the same thing. Those are learning lessons. His first term was a learning lesson, and he actually has said that there was a lot of things that he would change, because obviously he had never been president before. Donald Trump is not a career politician. That is one of the things amongst many that resonates with people, that he is not a career politician. And I don't think a lot of these analysts and these Democrats understand that. They want to talk about people who, oh, well, this person doesn't have any political background. They don't know anything about politics. Look, that's what we want. Okay? I don't think you get it. We are tired of corrupt politicians. It seems like that's all we have been seeing, is politicians who use their position to benefit themselves, benefit their pocketbooks. I mean, these politicians are some of the best investors in the world. Some of them have better, they have better trades percentage-wise than Warren Buffett, who most consider to be the GOAT of investing in the stock market. But these people who think about this for a second, taking that same ideology, right, of not being a political person. Well, these politicians, I mean, I would guess, they're not career investors. They didn't come up on Wall Street, did they? But somehow they seem to be great investors. No, it can't possibly be front running or doing anything like that. They can't possibly be have insider information or be passing laws or bills to affect companies for personal gain or anything like that, or want war for personal gain. It can't be anything like that, right? I digress. But we're gonna come back to talk about Pam Bondi. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look.
Which have
in the last segment that we should all fear, because she's competent. Pam Bondi is exactly what I was saying in the last segment that we should all fear, because she's competent. We may not agree with her ideologically, but she actually knows how to do this job. So if anyone on the Democratic side or anyone who cared about liberty or justice was thinking, well, maybe Matt Gaetz will screw this up and that'll give us some time. No, Pam Bondi knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing about immigration. Remember, Florida is one of those states that's been very aggressive about migrants and deportation and moving people to different states and everything else like that. Florida has enacted all sorts of rules and laws to curtail students and what they can do on campuses and finding legal justifications for manipulating education money. She is a dangerous and effective pick, and that's frankly worse than what we would have got with Matt Gaetz, even with the deplorable moral background that he has.
You hear that? I thought that was interesting that he said that. So I've seen a few political analysts talk about this. Now, this is what's interesting. People, when Matt Gaetz was the first pick, you had a lot of people slamming it, right? You go on A View, you go on different shows, and they were all talking about how Matt Gaetz was a bad pick. And of course, they were bringing up, the case that was against him, which is unfounded and has been closed by the Department of Justice. Let's just keep that in mind. But they would always bring that up, right, to plant seeds. Oh, well, he had this case going on and so on and so forth, right? Okay. Unfounded, once again. He is not indicted. He's not in jail. Matt Gaetz is out here freeing the world. Okay. You have a person in Pam Bondi who people say is excellent at her job. She is exceptional. This person right here is to be feared if you are on the wrong side of the law, right? So why in the world would politicians not want this unless you are nefarious? If you're nefarious, I guess you wouldn't want someone like this who is going to be on her job and on the asses of criminals. If you're a criminal, you're not going to like it. But if you're applauding her, that says a lot about those politicians. If you're applauding her, that means maybe those politicians are not criminals. I don't know. If you're upset at this pick and at the same time you're saying that she's great at her job and you're fearful of her, then that says a lot about you. And then maybe we should be watching you. Maybe we should be watching you. Maybe Elon should be putting you guys on X and we can go ahead and watch the moves that you make. I love the fact that Elon and X is exposing a lot of this malfeasance, man. Shout out to Doge, Department of Government Efficiency. I love it. I love the fact that Donald Trump has embraced Elon and brought Elon aboard along with Vivek. Elon, I love the fact that Donald Trump brought on Elon and Vivek to head that up. It's interesting how a lot of people want to get down on Elon, but look at Elon, man, as if he's some failed businessman. I mean, take a look at all the things that Elon has done. I mean, come on. Even X, formerly known as Twitter, he eliminated 80% of the fat of Twitter, and Twitter is better now than ever before. It's more efficient. It's a lot better. A lot of people agree X is way better. So you could do it with trimming the fat. People that probably were just I don't know, taking advantage of their positions, like, oh man, this is easy work, right? And Elon comes around and gets rid of you. I think it's great. Good job to Elon. So people are mad about that. People are I think that's interesting. People are leaving X to go to this blue sky. You're trying to tell me there's not an agenda there? You have all these people announcing that they're leaving X, right? Not a lot, but some of them, like Don Lemon and Gabrielle Union, right? But they have to tell you that they're going over to blue sky. Come on. And I forget who else left. But they have to do the announcement on X to let you know about blue sky. Of course, there's a concerted effort to go ahead and push that narrative to have people come over to blue sky. And I hear that there's a bunch of infighting over there. I hear there's a bunch of people being banned. This is what I hear. So anyway, let's get back to Pam Bondi. You know, if you're nefarious, I guess you wouldn't want her. It looks like this is a person to be taken very serious, man. She does her job. But let's go ahead and continue.
Matt Gaetz, there he is.
Well, I was a prosecutor. I was a homicide prosecutor for 18 years. I was Florida's first female attorney general. And I was And I was special advisor to Donald Trump, Office of White House Counsel, but most importantly, I'm his friend. And I was in that White House, and we all know he surrounded himself with a lot of brilliant women. How many women here tonight support Donald Trump? And backstage.
So that's a shot at Mark Cuban. So Mark Cuban, and I'm going to paraphrase this, but Mark Cuban basically said that Donald Trump surrounds himself with stupid women. And you had a firestorm, right? A lot of backlash that Mark Cuban got. I don't know why Mark Cuban would say some stupid stuff like that anyway, especially being in the position that you are, man. You're a businessman, but you're a public figure. You are a celebrity. You used to be my favorite person on Shark Tank. You are no longer my favorite person on Shark Tank. Well, let me take that back. You probably were always my second. Lori was probably number one. Definitely Lori. Lori, number one. I digress. But I would say it's got Lori number one, Mr. Wonderful number two, Mark, you're dead last. A lot of the stuff you've been saying is suspect. A lot of people think that you really were pushing for Kamala Harris because of some nefarious things. I have no idea, man. I don't know. But these are the things that I've seen people write. These are the things that I've seen people say in, whatever shows. They say that you're on the wrong side of some things. So I guess we'll find out, man. But yeah, let's listen a little further on this.
And we all know he surrounded himself with a lot of brilliant women. How many women here tonight support Donald Trump? And backstage, look at these beautiful women sitting behind me. Sorry, guys, in the front row. Donald Trump, that was the greatest gift Mark Cuban could give Donald Trump, I think, by saying something so ignorant and stupid. So I have a message for Mark Cuban from all of us here tonight. Underestimate us. This is going to be fun.
These laws are under siege by a president determined to ignore laws he doesn't like, and by a former Secretary of State who believes the laws don't apply to her. And by the way, she deserves no security clearance. How do you become president of the United States when you have no security clearance? This lawlessness must stop right here, right now. Donald Trump will stop it. Lock her up. I love that. Stay with me. Donald is going to roll back Obama's unconstitutional executive orders. Hang on. These criminals.
I want to address that really fast, man. I want to address that really quick. Let's bring that back up here. It's interesting that lock her up, right? You see that? Lock her up. They're talking about Hillary Clinton. It's interesting, the things that I've heard over the years. A lot of us have heard these things, but once again, man, I wasn't interested in politics. I didn't care. Like whatever. But you see how politics impacts your life, right? And once again, the stock market, the malfeasance in the stock market brings me here. That's what was the catalyst for all this. So lock her up. I've heard some interesting things about her, and if these things are true, man, wow, just wow, dude. So disappointing. It's just why this stuff is allowed, why crime is allowed by our politicians with impunity. I'll never understand. I will not understand it, man. But they were talking about, and Patrick Byrne was talking about Hillary Clinton and a huge bribe that she took. And I'll cover that in another video. I'm going to do a video about Patrick Byrne. He's a very interesting gentleman. He has lived quite the life, man. Wow. But yeah, that's what they're referring to. Lock her up, and that's just the tip of the iceberg of the things that I've discovered and learned about Hillary Clinton. Of course, I don't know if these things are true. These are things that people are saying about her, people that have eyewitnessed things and have been, they're privy to certain information or they've been around her. Wow, just interesting stuff, man. Interesting stuff. But let's go ahead and continue.
Donald is going to roll back Obama's unconstitutional executive orders. Hang on. These criminals made one very big mistake. They wound up in Polk County. And I'll tell you, it's bad enough in one thing to profit from poisoning others, but it's another when you bring drugs from Mexico into our country, California, Texas, Georgia, and end up in our state and do it with impunity. Because when you're in this country illegally and you're doing things illegally, I want to tell you, and you wind up in Polk County, Grady Judd is going to find you. The DEA is going to help them. And my statewide prosecutors are going to lock you up for as long as we can.
And we're going to enjoy it.
And each of these defendants are looking at 30 years in Florida State Prison for conspiracy to traffic drugs.
Sheriff behind her said, and we're going to enjoy it, man. This lady is tough on crime, tough on drugs, tough on deportation. People that are here illegally, she's tough. And people are saying that she is excellent at her job. From what I understand, 2-time Attorney General in Florida. I've never heard of this lady before, and I am thankful that I get the opportunity to do my due diligence on her and others. So I'm trying to learn as much as possible as an American citizen, and I implore you to do the same. So maybe there's some people watching this that they're learning about her for the first time as well, and other people that I've covered. So let's go ahead and continue with Pam Bondi here.
Something else that's going to happen, Sean, is when Republicans take back the White House, and we will be back in there in 18 months or less. You know what's going to happen? The Department of Justice, the prosecutors will be prosecuted, the bad ones. The investigators will be investigated because the deep state, last term for President Trump, they were hiding in the shadows. But now they have a spotlight on them, and they can all be investigated, and the House needs to be cleaned out because now we know who most of them are. There's a record of it, and we can clean house next term, and that's what has to happen. Well, I was a prosecutor.
Wow. So you're going to have people that are in the Department of Justice that's going to be investigated. Wow. Nefarious. The nefarious ones. And I bet you there is a lot. Myself, along with a lot of people, thought that the things that were brought up against Donald Trump, man, it was like a reach. Like, come on, man. There was a lot of people that spoke up on his behalf and are like, this is crazy. And it did appear to be like a witch hunt. Like they were really on him. They really tried to get Donald Trump to drop out of the race. They did not want Donald Trump to run. Think about all the things that this man has gone through to get here. I mean, he must love his country because he is a billionaire. He doesn't need this. Donald Trump can go and write books, have a reality show, talk about being if he wanted to do that, man, and make even more money. There's a lot of us. Let me tell you something. Before Donald Trump even ran for president, Donald Trump was huge in the hip hop community. People loved him and they adored the guy. And I think he kind of went through a period after even the ladies of The View, Oprah, all these people, they loved Donald Trump. And all of a sudden, he's painted to be this horrible supervillain. Like, wow. And then you come to find out that the supervillains are the ones that speak really good. They're great in front of a camera. They're career politicians. They know the right things to say. Then you open up the look behind the curtain, and if these things that like I said, I want to preface it with this. I don't know. I'm not a politician, but I'm just going off of the testimony of other people. These people are the real criminals. It's no wonder they don't want him in office. It's no wonder because he's going to bring in people like this people that are going to go ahead and fight against crime. That's just how I feel. I mean, we're going to see. We're going to see. We're going to watch. There's a lot of us that's really, really interested in this presidency that's coming up. We've taken notice with what's going on with Biden and his administration and the things that they're pulling here at the last minute. Given the Ukraine to go to use U.S. weapons against Russia, where we all know Putin has said that that's a point of contention, and it could start World War III. Some people think that the Biden administration wants to do that. Some people think that it's not Biden pulling the strings, that he's just a puppet. And he could be. It looked like he was forced out of the race, and they put it in Kamala, and Kamala was beat. The people have spoken. The people are tired of corruption, especially us retail investors. Man, we have seen it, and we have complained about it. We are the squeaky wheel, man. We're the ones that's been out here complaining and talking about this for 4 to 5 years, or even longer if you're Patrick Byrne, to fall on deaf ears for nothing to be done. So yeah, we're tired of corruption, and then you take that corruption, it brings you to other corruption, and that's spotlighted in your life. Like, wow, now you're starting to see how this is all interconnected. Yeah. So now I'm over here talking about politics. Who would have thought, man? Who would have thought? I thought I probably would have had a podcast about sports. Seriously, sports or the entertainment business, man, stuff like that, which I am very interested in. I'm interested in sports and entertainment. You never know what the future will hold, but this right here has captivated me, man. Politics, because once again, it affects so many other things in your life, and you just had no idea, man. Anything from your investments, man, your job and jobs leaving the country, and even the food that we take in, our food intake. I'm gonna do a video about John F. Kennedy Jr. here in the very near future. But today we're talking about Pam Bondi. Let's get it, Pam.
And we all know.
So let's take a look here, man. This is her Wikipedia page. Once again, I did not know her. And I'm once again glad that I am here doing my due diligence on her, and she seems like she could be an excellent pick. And there's a lot of people that agree. So Pamela Bondi is an American attorney, lobbyist, and politician, a member of the Republican Party. She served as Florida Attorney General from 2011 to 2019, the first woman elected to the office. Girl power, man. Go see Wicked. Woo. Girl power all over the place. I'm here for it. In 2020, Bondi was one of President Trump's defense lawyers during his first impeachment trial. By 2024, she led the legal arm of the Trump-aligned America First Policy Institute. On November 21st, 2024, President-elect Trump announced she would be nominated for United States Attorney General after previous nominee Matt Gaetz withdrew. Man, people think that Donald Trump is playing chess. They think that Matt Gaetz was someone that was, as a chess piece, just thrown out there. He was thrown out there to test the waters, to see who would back him and who would be on Trump's side. And I guess there was some people on the Republican side that wouldn't back him. So now you bring in Pam Bondi, and this lady here seems to be exceptional at her job, and both sides agree. And what are you going to say? What are you going to say? Unless you're nervous if you're nefarious. You cut the grass and the snakes will show. Man, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out a lot, man, in this administration, I believe. I think that Donald Trump is for the people, man. I really hope and believe that he is, man. I really hope and believe that he is. And I am once again glad that I did this. My research on Pam Bondi, man, she is going to break some heads. I think she is going to break some heads that are nefarious, and I love it. And the American people, we deserve it. And stock market manipulation is just one of many things. I've repeated it many times. It's just the main thing that brings me here. And it's the main thing that made me look at the chain of malfeasance, man. It's insane when you start to dig down the rabbit hole and you start looking at how this is all interconnected. So, yeah, yeah, I want somebody that's going to be in here and they're going to do their job and they're going to go after the criminals, especially the criminals that's supposed to serve us as citizens. We elect people thinking that they have great intentions, they have good intentions, and we find out they're nefarious. And we're sick of it, man. We're sick of these people, sitting on their 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 um, their perceived moral high horse and looking the part of someone who has a strong and good moral compass. And we find out that they're nefarious, but they look great in a suit. They speak very well. The vernacular is spectacular. And what happens? We get disappointed because we find out that these people are criminals and they weren't serving us at all. They were serving themselves. No wonder people want to get into politics so bad. No damn wonder. Because the benefits are great. Go ahead and live off taxpayers' money, and we're paying you to be nefarious. Isn't that something? You're supposed to serve the people. So yeah, kudos to President Trump for bringing in strong people like Pam Bondi, strong people like Tom Homan, Elon Musk, Vivek, J.D. Vance, who I think is extremely intelligent, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., even Matt Gaetz. And there's some other people that I'm doing my research on. So I'll be going ahead and covering those people here in the near future. So today I covered Pam Bondi. I hope and pray that she does her job, and I hope and pray that Donald Trump brings justice to retail investors, man. That's my thing. But you want to fight crime? Go see a movie or go get AMC A-listed. Shout out to Pam Bondi.
We do begin tonight with President-elect Donald Trump's embattled AG nominee suddenly bowing out just 8 days after Trump nominated him and his new pick for Attorney General. President-elect Trump announced that former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi is his new nominee. Bondi was a prosecutor for nearly 20 years before becoming Florida's first female Attorney General. She was also on Trump's defense team during his first Senate impeachment trial. Meanwhile, former Congressman Matt Gaetz issued a statement saying his confirmation was unfairly becoming a distraction to the critical work of the Trump-Vance transition.
Welcome back. President-elect Donald Trump nominating longtime ally and former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi to serve as Attorney General in the United States in his second Trump administration. This after Matt Gaetz withdrew his name from consideration. Here's Bondi with me on this program back in May.
None of these other trials will make it to trial ever, and especially they won't before the election. All of these prosecutors hate Donald Trump. They have a personal vendetta against him. They've been very vocal about it. Some have campaigned on getting Donald Trump. And as a career prosecutor, Maria, if you even have an appearance of a conflict, you get off a case. You recuse yourself from a case. There are safeguards in effect for that, and you put other prosecutors on the case. And here, they have done quite the opposite. Look at Fannie Willis, of course, in Georgia, her affair with Nathan Wade. That case is falling apart. Jack Smith, they have said they've altered evidence in that case. And now I think with the presidential immunity issue out there, none of these cases will get to trial prior to the election.
Joining me now is Wisconsin Congressman Scott Fitzgerald, a member of the House Financial Services and Judiciary Committees. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks very much for being here. Your reaction to President Trump choosing Pam Bondi as next AG?
Pam's going to be great. I've known her for a number of years, been involved in a lot of different things that certainly I think many members of both the House and the Senate have worked on in and around Pam, both as AG in Florida and at the federal level with the Trump administration, first Trump administration.
So you think she'll get confirmed? You think she'll get confirmed then?
I do. I think she'll have she'll have the ability to kind of visit those Senate offices, and they'll be able to hear an explanation, I think, of where President Trump wants to go with these agencies that, the 40 some agencies that have run amok over the last 4 years.